Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm about to go gig work, get the DoorDash going. But before I do, I'm going to watch this video on layoffs. They just keep coming. And it resonates with me because I was laid off 5 years ago. And I'm still trying to recover from it. It's the worst.
3 months ago, I started a new role that I thought was my dream opportunity, and turns out today was my last day. A mix of emotions right now because I actually was laid off in November of 2022, and I just received this full-time offer back in January of 2025. So I was unemployed for a pretty extended period of time. I did take a contractor role in between that, but in terms of full-time employment, I was just getting back into it. And now, 90 days later, I'm back in the market. Cheers to unemployment.
Yeah. And being out of a job for that long really puts you in a hole, and hopefully you didn't go into debt. Yeah, and every month that you're unemployed, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's really tough to recover from. It's hard to see.
Almost 50 years old, and I feel like I'm starting all over again. I got laid off at the end of last year in 2024. We're now in May of 2025. And I still don't have a job. I'm applying.
Yep.
I've applied to almost 200 different positions. I've had interviews. I've had callbacks. Nobody has pulled the trigger. I did work in education. And so now I'm still just trying to find a job. I'm trying to do other things. I'm exploring this TikTok stuff. I am trying to sell on Poshmark.
Tell me about it.
Selling used clothes, whether I'm selling my own or I go thrifting and I resell there. I am making woodworking things so I can sell them on Facebook Marketplace, but I don't know if it's my age. I don't know if it's the industry. I just don't know what to do. I have time. I'm doing things. I'm trying to think of all the things. I do some online freelance type of work just to bring in a little bit of money, but it's nothing full-time, nothing permanent. So here I am, pouring my soul on TikTok. There's got to be other people like me out there. What did you?
Yeah, I'm right here and about to head out to go deliver some DoorDash and Instacart. And that's how I make it. I'm still trying to recover from my layoff, and I don't make enough on my income from my main job, so I basically gig work all weekend, and I'm going to go do that right after this. Nice day. I hope it's busy, though. But yeah, this is tough. Get your application in on DoorDash.
And that's all good. I got 2 interviews. I'm on my way to one right now. They're both better paying jobs. One of them is even closer to my house. But that's actually not what I want to talk about. Yesterday, while I was on that phone call, one of the drivers that was getting laid off, he said, "Hey guys, so you request a 2 weeks notice from us when we're gonna leave. In fact, last year I did give you a 2 weeks notice. I decided to leave, I found a better job, and I put in my 2 weeks, and you guys talked me out of it. You said, no, we're gonna give you a raise," which you did, but I would be in a much better job right now. But you can't be bothered to give us a 2 weeks notice. Hey, you're about to lose your income. We have to give you, a multi-billion-dollar company, 2 weeks to find our replacement. But you can't be bothered to.
You really don't have to. Yeah, it's not like mandated by law. You can definitely just drop the bag and leave. But yeah, it's very weird that it's common courtesy for us to give the employer 2 weeks of notice, but they give you 0 seconds of notice when you're laid off. So yeah, there's a double standard. It's very stupid.
And they started with the top. They laid off tech roles. Now they're laying off the corporate management roles, and then they're just going to work their way from the top all the way to the bottom. And this is what a lot of companies are doing. Microsoft started this new trend, and now you have Walmart, and it's going over and over again. And the market right now is not.
I don't know if they started the trend. It's just called layoffs. It's called lowering your expenses and trying to increase the bottom line and profit. First place business is going to look is labor, because that's very expensive and easy to cut.
not the best. The tariffs are destroying everything, especially the car market specifically. So hey, be prepared. If you are in a role right now where AI can semi-perform it, prepare yourself for your next move. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I'm just telling you the truth.
I don't know if it's the tariffs really, but it is the decrease in government spending and waste. Without all that spending, you're gonna have to make cuts. There's just less spending. There's just less to do.
Prepare yourself right now.
So I got laid off. The company restructured. They cut 40 positions out of the sales department. And in the whole process, I just ended up with severance. Severance and no job. Now, I've really been trying to process.
At least you got a severance, you know. I didn't even get a severance when I was laid off. I just got told to get fucked.
What's next? What's now? And it hadn't really kicked in because if you know me, I don't know how to not work. I'm always working on something. Creatively, physically, spiritually. I don't know how to rest. And I had time today to just stop and just kind of process everything that just happened. And I realized I can't really mourn that job. For one, management sucked. And the whole system of how they did everything, ain't no point in mourning that. You just gonna put yourself in the grave. But that job, although the money was good, was nothing more than a resource. My source is still there. I drink from a well that never runs dry. I serve a God who's able. And the same way I got that job, I can get another one. Do I know where it is right now? Absolutely not.
Yeah, this is the right idea to have. You get laid off. I mean, I'm still bitter about my layoff, but it doesn't do me any good. You really just gotta let it roll off your back and on to the next one. Almost immediately. Just forget about that shit because it will eat you up because it's not your fault. You got laid off. The company sucks. It wasn't you. So, I know, that's tough. I hate it. I hate it.
Some dungeon entrances in
here
Top
we
Heroes
go.
are super hard to find. Check behind the waterfall in Crimson.
He saw a calendar invite from a really senior person. Lo and behold, he was not the one who got laid off, but all of his upper managers did. But then that morning, I was just feeling a little bit extra relieved of the fact that, like, even if he does get laid off, at least I can hold our backs with my job. At least I can hold the fort down in the meantime while he looks for a different one if that does happen. But then, thankfully, we're like, we can breathe a sigh of relief, he still has his job. But then why is it that, like, later in the day, something happens at my job, and now I'm back to crashing out, or I'm like, fuck corporate, like, what am I even doing here? How am I supposed to be doing this until retirement? Like, actually, even if I can retire, you know what I'm saying? And I don't understand how it has to be this way, where we are literally just groveling at corporate's feet, being like, thank you for...
Yeah, wages have declined so much that it's literally impossible to live off your one income. So you either have to get multiple incomes or be lucky enough to be getting paid $150,000 a year from your job, which is probably what you need, and it's not like those jobs are plentiful laying around for anybody to get. So yeah, it's a shitty situation.
I know I look rough, but people always do these like talks when they're getting ready. Well, I'm gonna do these talks while I go to bed. So I got laid off today, which is great. I work remotely, so I left my house to go.
These remote workers, I feel just a little bit less bad for these people. I really don't think, were you really working from home? Or were you really just lazing around, getting paid? I really don't think you were working. But you were getting paid, so I guess it does suck to not get paid anymore. But I really don't feel bad for these remote work. I really don't. I just think it's a whole scam. I don't think these remote workers are being productive at all. They are just sitting at home, scamming the system. So I'm just waiting for that whole thing to end. But even still, going from getting paid to not getting paid sucks.
If my face didn't scare you too much. And thanks for listening this long.
Okay. Trolley trail on this beautiful day because I got laid off yesterday. I'm a very powerful manifester. I kept saying, if I keep talking about this job and how much I don't want to be here, I'm going to be out of here one way or another. And, it's not ideal to get laid off when you don't have something lined up, but I just feel really optimistic about life. I've already planted a lot of seeds, my job search is solid, and I have other opportunities I could explore outside of traditional jobs. So just kind of thinking all that over the next few days, and I just want to say thank you so much to everyone on here who's been so supportive. And
Yep, you got to be positive. You got to be on to the next one. You got to be on to the next one so fast and forget about that shit. It's a tough recovery. I'm still working on it, and I got 4 gig apps that I work on too now on the side, so I definitely stay busy.
But thanks for joining us, Alex. This is Nicole. She's our HR partner for California, and I have to share unfortunate news. As you know, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon put out a letter on March 28th. So we've been working the last several weeks actually to figure out what our best path forward could be. And unfortunately,
that's to not pay you.
We've come to the place that we've had to pause services indefinitely. And that means that we also need to eliminate your position. Management at some point in the future, and we would.
And it's the worst feeling, dude. This is the worst feeling ever. I didn't even get a phone call or anything like that. I didn't have a meeting. I was given a letter along with everybody else. Just said, your job is no longer here after September 30th. But I feel for it, and it's so hard. It's so hard, especially now when nobody's hiring, and like literally nobody's hiring, nobody's promoting, nobody's doing anything. Everyone is just cut to try to save the bottom line. I hate to see it. And on that note, I'm going to get out there. Sun's coming out now. I got to get the orders in. We'll see if DoorDash will let me on. Hoping for a good day. We'll see right here. Nope. It's red. Can't do shit. It's crazy, man. Got this app. Try to make money. You can't even get online to make money. So, all right. I'm going to get out there. Wait in the parking lot. Probably make some more stupid shorts. That's my real favorite thing to do. All right, peace.